Hello everyone. I'm just going to get this over with. I've been trying to make this video for quite some time, which you really don't care to hear me say, but yet I'm saying it. I keep getting to a certain point and stopping. I don't know why. I don't know my brain. So today I've decided to bring you Symbolism of the Handmaid's Tale in black and white to perhaps set the mood or hide the fact that I'm wearing a bathrobe and it got some redness on my face. Who knows what the author's true intent was? I don't. But we're going to go over 4 specific times and examples of symbolism in The Handmaid's Tale. And this will be mirrors, eggs, the motif of doubles, which I understand is not symbolism, and motifs are different. I'm learning. Where's my little... So I said, yeah, and color. So mirrors, eggs, colors, and doubles. The motif of doubles. I'm really popular, so people text me a lot. But this is more referring to the text. However, I find that if you're like me and you've only watched the series, that you can benefit from this and apply it to watching the series as well. Maybe it'll both motivate you and I to read the book. I think that'd be fun. But I'm probably not going to do it because there's Cliff's Notes and I've already watched the series, and I don't know. I still like reading the book. All right, anyway, let's carry on. I'm JC with the Do Good Letters, and we hope to give you something interesting to do while you're on the toilet. Learn a little. So, a couple of resources where I got my information are a video from YouTube by Mrs. A.B. Literature. It seems like she has a specific lecture? I need to take her class. Lecture on this, on symbolism of the Handmaid's Tale. It seems like she is an English professor, perhaps in Britain, because she, talks a little bit like this. I'm sorry to everyone who's possibly watching this that lives across the pond from me, who's like, please stop, nails on a chalkboard, don't do it anymore. No, seriously, I said stop. Will you stop? Thank you, please. I will. So I got a lot of my information from her. I also got a lot of my information from something called UK Essays. And because, British people are, wait, you said you'd stop it. You didn't stop it. Oh, UK Essays, and oddly enough, allrecipes.com. I wonder where that comes in. Maybe it has to do with mirrors. So, the first, and I will put, of course, all those links in the description box down below. Don't forget to like and push and pull and share my information. Make sure your friends see this and bring it to the neighborhood barbecue. Not trying to push my way into any particular barbecue, just whatever one you think I feel welcome. And then I'm going into the southern preacher's cadence, because I grew up in the South, and you never know what you're gonna do, or what you're gonna get, or what your box of chocolates. I can't find all my notes, so I'm gonna just continue to wing this. So, mirrors. Mrs. A.B. Literature, and I'm quite sure that is her legal name, so I will now just refer to her as Mrs. Literature. She talks about mirrors. She talks about a mirror that's in the hallway of the commander's house, and that it's convex in shape. So if you think about looking at a mirror that's kind of bulbing out like an eye, she points out, and an eye is the theme in The Handmaid's Tale, right? Everyone's watching, Big Brother's watching you, you need some contacts, carry on. So if you look in your reflection of a mirror that is convex, your reflection is going to be a bit distorted, kind of like everyone there. Handmaids, the commander's wives, Martha Stewart's, everyone is just not who, I don't want to say not who they truly are, right? Because we get into some weird positions. We all don't know what we're capable of, but it's definitely a distorted version of who we truly are. So I found that interesting. And if I can find the rest of my notes, I could continue on with that. Are you cheating? Did you just look at my notes? That's not nice. I'm gonna get to it. Okay. It also talks about how Vanity with the mirrors, and I say it, I mean Mrs. Literature, and forgive me for calling you it. That was rude. But I am sometimes. Anyway, so the mirrors and Vanity, if you'll notice, the handmaids don't and are not permitted to have mirrors. Kind of not supposed to be caring about what they look like. However, where the Jezebels are, the brothel, they have mirrors all around, because I think they're even quoted as saying it's their job. I think maybe June states it's their job here to know what they look like. So it's kind of showing up the difference in both of them. I am outside, obviously, so you might hear a little tweety tweet tweet. It's showing the difference between the purposes and their body in the Republic of Gilead, in my opinion. Mrs. A.B. didn't say this, but I am, because I think I'm smarter than her, because I have an associate's degree and she probably has a doctorate in English literature, so. Handmaids, their body is, their purpose there for their body is to reproduce and reproduce only, and to be used for that. And Jezebel's bodies are just used for pleasure purposes, and that's it. So I found that kind of interesting. And if I got that information off of you, Mrs. A-Bay, C-Day, I apologize. It's totally your idea. I'm pretty sure it probably is. There was another time that I think, again, if I had all my notes. Oh, and the removal of mirrors and places too means it's one less place that handmaids or anybody can break it apart and use it for a weapon. I don't know if that's really symbolism or if that's just kind of a point. Didn't mean that. I'm so good at puns. It just comes. All right. Oh, and then the first time that Offred sees another handmaid, again, mirrors an identity. She states that she is like my own reflection I am moving away from. So it's kind of her understanding of my identity's lost here. I don't have one. Me and all these handmaid broads, we're all the same. This is really happening, is how I take it. So, the second thing I'm going to talk about is eggs. And this is where allrecipes.com comes in. You thought it was about the mirrors. It's never about the mirrors, except for just a second ago. It's all about them. So, the symbolism of eggs, I found all of this very interesting, and it was by the woman who wrote this article. Her name is Amelia Ireland Levino. Aaron. So she states, Offred was given eggs for breakfast. It's a symbol of fertility. And Offred goes on to describe what her breakfast looks like. It says egg cups, the kind that looks like, so the egg is placed in one of those little egg cups. I just did the shape with my hands there, if you wanted to know. Egg cups, the kind that look like a woman's torso and a skirt. Under the skirt is a second egg being kept warm. So that kind of reflects that second cup underneath being kept warm is another nod to fertility, and that you're just here to reproduce and keep the chicken egg warm in your belly. It's quite literal. This book is very literal, absolutely. So, Offred also uses eggs to describe different shapes and different inanimate objects. She goes on to say, when describing an elevator, she says the glass half egg of the elevator. And when referring to someone's toneless voice, it's probably like mine, I can be very monotone. Voice of a raw egg white. All I can picture and hear when she said the voice of a raw egg white, is it like someone trying to swallow a raw egg and it getting, and then I thought about how that would, and I just almost threw up just right then. I can't do it. But that's what came to my mind. I don't know if that's what came to Margaret Atwood's mind when she was reading or writing this, because she didn't read it, she wrote it. I mean, she probably read it because she had to proofread things, right? I mean, but that's what I thought of when with someone with a voice of a raw egg white. Then it states that Fred asks June what she thinks of the new society. She didn't respond, and then he stated, "You can't make an omelet without breaking some eggs." It's a phrase whose origin goes back to the French Revolution, meaning you can't have greatness without some casualties. You got to kill people to get to what you want, you know, for the greater good of the society, which is not necessarily something I think is good. I had a lot better words in my head, but they're like, nope, skedaddle. Yeah, I don't hold that sentiment. But I thought that was kind of interesting as well. All right, eggs, colors. Yes, we are going to mention the color red because that's basically the main star of the color show. Mrs. A.B. Literature also talks about different colors that are mentioned, and if you want to go and watch her video, which I absolutely believe you should, especially if you're studying this for school, you probably need to refer to someone more up there altogether. But blue irises are mentioned, the different colors of the uniforms, Martha's, the wives, that sort of thing. They're all mentioned and is really good. But yes, the main star of the show is the color red, which I'm finding my notes for now. So let us see. It represents, which I think is one, fertility, menstrual cycle. It's also very, it stands out. So when they try to escape, especially in the snow, boom, boom, it's like a beacon of, I'm here, come get me. It also kind of refers to the Scarlet Letter, shows adultery, and technically the handmaids, they are not willing participants in adultery, but I mean, in a weird way, they're adulteress? They're doing something they shouldn't, but they don't really have a choice. So they're not? They're not. They are, but they're technically not. Atwood is also quoted as saying, "Red is the cross and red is the blood. Sacrificial, alludes to Christ, who was tortured and innocent of their crimes." So they are innocent. And there's a little story here about Margaret Atwood. Really likes this, I believe. I wrote novel, so we're going to go with that because I'm probably right. I really thought it was a short story. But it says it's a novel called Red Shoes. They're flat in practice, cultural in significance, and they're very enchanting. They're magical when she puts them on, and it totally consumes the dancer's identity. She just gets lost in who she is or who she isn't with the shoes on. So that was very specific, that Margaret Atwood mentioned in an interview. Which one? I don't know. I don't have that one. Probably should find that and put it in a link or something. But it says they are captivated and making, yep, can't read my own handwriting, so they're captivating. That's it. That's all you need to know. Now the last one, Doubles, is the one I personally found the most interesting, because it's one that, even though the egg thing was pretty interesting to kind of find, or, you know, it was like once it's pointed out to you, you're like, oh yeah. This motif of doubles was very much like that. And if I don't find my notes, we're going to be in big trouble, because this is one I really didn't understand on my own that well. Oh yeah, Mrs. A.B. literature goes into different flowers too and what they symbolize. Tulips. All right, let's see if I can do this off the top of my head. Again, if I get anything wrong, kind of go to Mrs. A.B. literature for a really good reference. Doubles are a motif that are seen throughout the novel of The Handmaid's Tale. When the handmaids go to the grocery store to get their food, they walk in pairs. There's also, she said, doppelgangers throughout the book. And Mrs. A.B., I say A.P., but it's A.B. literature, doesn't give the examples of the doppelgangers, I don't believe. But she also mentioned Janine being kind of a representative of each stage of the Handmaid's Tales. No, not the tales. Each stage of the handmaids themselves and what they go through. I kind of found that interesting and wanted to look back and see if she went through things first before June did, to perhaps provide some sort of foreshadowing. If you know more about that, if you could chat about it and let me know what your thoughts are. Where's another, the doubles. Man, I wish I had my notes. Why are you watching me if I can't provide? Let's see. I'm just going to re-look this up real quick. Can you hear what people are doing around here? Or blowing some leaves or doing something? I don't know. Maybe I need to go to church or just kind of. Let's see. It is not only in appearance that Offred sees similarities between herself and others. Her sensitivity to other people means that she is often aware of parallels between her situation and that of other people. With Nick, Offred is aware, for example, that she and Nick share something in common. They are both aware of the illicit situation the first time they meet alone in the sitting room at night. Neither can give the other away, so for the moment, we are mirrors. I don't really get it. Do you? Help me? This is all coming from cross-reference it. The previous Offred. Oh, yes. This is the one where I was like, oh, yeah. And Mrs. A.B. Literature does mention this too. The motif of doubles comes up in ghosts of people that were there before. So remember the handmaid that was stationed at the Waterford's home before June was? Her presence is all over the place in the engraving, in the Latin phrase that was engraved in the wall of the closet. So in the book, she says she can feel her presence, my ancestors, my double, and I can't find the exact quote here, so I'm paraphrasing. She also says, how could I have thought I was all alone in this? You've been here all along. Referring to, and again, that's paraphrasing, because I had written the direct quote that June said about the previous handmaid that was in her room, but I cannot find it because I'm really a prepared person. So, yeah, she's referring to the handmaid that was there before. I've said that about 50 million times. Yeah, when you go places, you just, wherever it is, especially if someone has passed, then you can kind of feel them, even though they're not there. And I'm not talking about anything, Casper. I'm just talking about their essence, and not like from the dark crystal, like you've sucked it out of them. I'm just talking about their memory is there, their influence is there, their ideas are there, what you think they would be saying or doing in certain situations. It's just kind of there. You're not alone. You're not alone. I am right now, except for my dogs and some birds, and perhaps one bird that's deceased because the cat just won't stop. But other than that, I'm not alone either. We're never alone. I'm never alone. All right, so that kind of wraps up my really horrible presentation of symbolism in The Handmaid's Tale. I hope that you have enjoyed it. Of course, this is not all the symbolism. There is so much. Flowers, more colors, not just red. Other things that I don't know because I'm not that intelligent, but this is why I have done this. I want to kind of get into the weeds of things that I don't understand, but things that I enjoy, and I enjoyed The Handmaid's Tale, and I hope you do too, and I hope you've enjoyed this. Stick around because once a week I do a live after party talking about the most recent episode of the Handmaid's Tale series on Hulu that has come out. I did one last week with Suzanne from How Not to Move to Costa Rica and Aaron from EKC People Suck. If you'd like to be able to join the panel and gab and talk about it, just let me know below in the comments and I will reach out to you. I hope you guys, again, have enjoyed this. I've said this about 50 million times too. And if you haven't, well, at least I hope everything came out okay.